Lineup for Leeds. Well, their promotion hopes took a knock when they lost to Wigan last time out. Two changes for them. Captain Liam Cooper returns, and there's also a start for Adam Forshaw. Brentford play host to Leeds in the Championship this evening. The Bees sitting comfortably in mid-table, seemingly with very little to play for, whereas Leeds, they've got it all to do. They start this match 3 points behind Sheffield United, who occupy the final automatic promotion position, they having beat Hull earlier on this afternoon. Brentford, they drew 1-1 with Millwall in their last fixture, and they've made 3 changes to that lineup, with Henry, Sawyers and Jeanvier all coming into the starting lineup. For Leeds, well, their promotion hopes took a knock when they lost to Wigan this evening last time out. 2 changes for them. Captain Liam Cooper returns, and there's also a start for Adam Forshaw. Brentford play host to Leeds in the Championship this evening. The Bees sitting comfortably in mid-table, seemingly with very little to play for, whereas Leeds, they've got it all to do. They start this match 3 points behind Sheffield United, who occupy the having beat Hull earlier on this afternoon. Brentford, they drew 1-1 with Millwall in their last fixture, and they've made 3 changes to that lineup, with Henry, Sawyers and Jeanvier all coming into the starting lineup. For Leeds, well, their promotion hopes took a knock when they lost to Wigan last time out. 2 changes for them. Captain Liam Cooper returns, and there's also a start for Adam Forshaw. Brentford play host to Leeds in the Championship this evening. The Bees sitting comfortably in mid-table, seemingly with very little to play for, whereas Leeds, they've got it. Right, we'll just draw that one to a quick conclusion because the match at Griffin Park is about to get underway. We're bringing you independent off-tube studio commentary of this clash from the Championship between Brentford and Leeds. For the home side, not too much riding on it, sitting comfortably in mid-table, can't be relegated, can't force their way into the playoff situation. For Leeds, well, there's certainly something riding on this. They come into the game at 3 points behind Sheffield United in the standings in the race to secure automatic promotion to the Premier League. That's after the Blades got a 3-0 victory away at Hull in the 3 o'clock kickoffs. They are just 6 points as well, Leeds behind leaders Norwich, who did draw today away at Stoke. So the incentive is there for Marcelo Bielsa's side. If they win, then they can get level on points with Sheffield United heading into the final 2 games of the season. Of course, as well, they are looking to bounce back from that surprise home defeat against 10-man Wigan on Friday. It's myself, Tom McGarry, and John Hogan talking you through this evening's coverage. And John, all the pressure on Leeds, they need a response.
Yeah, they do. I mean, in theory, you think, well, the one team that's got something to play for should beat the one team that doesn't. But actually, what we're seeing are quite strange things at this time of the season. Again, games in quick succession. Leeds haven't done well. They had a blip at Christmas, if you remember. Because he's asking them physically to do a lot, he does take a lot out of them. And however fit they are, and they are fit boys, I don't think that they look so good when they go back to back. The idea as well that a team's going to lay down and have their tummies tickle because they've got nothing to play for. Well, Palace beat Arsenal yesterday. That tells you all you need to know about that theory. Why should Brentford at home just let Leeds come and roll them? They won't. So it's going to be a hot contested game, hot out there as well. And actually the fact that it's a 5:15 kickoff and we're underway now is probably a little bit more in Leeds' favour. I think you don't want to be playing in the middle of the day in the heat of the sun. Just that little bit cooler now, Tom. Yeah, that could have a positive impact for both teams, I suppose. Brentford are a lot better on their own patch than they are on their travels. The Thomas Frank side have picked up the majority of their points at Griffin Park so far this season, and on their day they are capable of matching anyone in this division. Leeds currently in possession. They're kicking from right to left, the visitors in their changed kit, which is yellow shirts and socks with white shorts. Brentford in their traditional red and white colours. Leeds trying to come forward down the left, but Alioski's ball down the channel was a little overhit. In terms of the team news, if you did miss it at the start of the piece, for Brentford, 3 changes from the side that drew with Millwall on Friday. That includes people coming in. Rico Henry returning from injury, remain Sawyers and Julian Jeanvier. Dalsgaard, who's suspended, Marcondes and De Silva also drop out for Leeds. 2 changes. Captain Liam Cooper returns at the heart of the defence. He's in for Gaetano Berardi. Adam Forshaw also starts in midfield in place of Calvin Phillips. There's an early chance for Leeds. Patrick Bamford, first time effort, right footed, trying to curl it into
into the corner. He was just about on the penalty spot, Bamford, when the ball broke his way, and he's not a million miles away from finding that corner.
Yeah, Tyler Roberts finds Ayling, and he has ever driving forward. It's not a bad ball. It's turned around the corner. A decent effort. Again, we know what we're going to get from Leeds. There are no surprises that they want to get on the front foot. I thought last time against Wigan, did that game, I felt that they dwelt on the ball a little bit longer. They got an early goal and Wigan reduced to 10 men. It was like, it's going to be easy. Then everybody stopped doing what they've been doing all season. Everybody started taking 3-4 touches. The ball didn't move quickly enough for them, and then they were hitting the counter. And if Brentford do have quick players, then certainly they can get at this Leeds defence today. But it is stiffened up by the return of Liam Cooper.
Sorensen on the ball for Brentford, trying to play their way out from the back. Two good footballing teams certainly on show this evening, as Brentford player takes a tumble over the advertising hoardings over on the far side. Sergi Canos just getting brushed over by Luke Ayling, no intent there, and Canos acknowledges that as he gets back to his feet unhurt. It's Leeds who have the throw-in. Ayling in possession of the ball, rolls it infield to Adam Forshaw, who under a bit of pressure just plays it back to Liam Cooper, who can stroke the ball out to the left-hand side. It's Jack Harrison dinking the ball over the top for Alioski, who's made the forward run, but it's matched stride for stride by Moses Odebajo, the Brentford right back, who clears up the touchline. Alioski will look to overlap whenever he can, coming from left back, the Macedonia international. He's now the man taking this throw-in and working the ball infield towards Click. Click's touch wasn't as good as he would have hoped, and Romain Sawyers can nip in, and now Ollie Watkins down the left-hand side can try and bring the ball forward for Brentford, but the home team haven't really got going as of yet. It's Leeds in these opening 3.5 minutes that have been on the front foot.
Yeah, they want to gain some momentum. The Blades got a great victory, I thought, today. I thought Hull was going to be a big banana skin for them, but they got off to a great start. McGoldrick grabbed a couple of early goals, and then they saw it off, didn't they, for Leeds, who had it in their own hands before kick-off that game against Wigan. Now they feel like they're having to dig out. They've got work to do, but we saw Alioski give the ball away on a hot day. You don't want to be turning the ball over so quickly.
It's Sawyers who's bringing the ball forward for Brentford, flicks it infield towards their leading scorer Neil Morpay. Now it's Makocho in the middle of the park. Brentford happy to just retain the ball. Jean-Vier strides out from the defence, gives it away, and then loses out in the 50-50 challenge. Bamford can poke it forward, and there might be a chance for Tyler Roberts breaking into the penalty area. First touch is heavy though, and out comes the goalkeeper Luke Daniels, who gathers effectively, but Tyler Roberts gave him the opportunity to come out. His control needed to be better.
Lovely ball flicked through to him. I think we wondered whether he was onside, but it looked like he was level, and then he's very guilty of a heavy touch, isn't he? Keeper's done really well there to come slide, and just at the edge of the area he gets that little protective block in. But so far Leeds have looked very lively.
Good goalkeeping that though from Luke Daniels, who's not the first choice at Brentford, filling in for Daniel Bentley, who's been ruled out for the rest of the season. It has been a little bit of a problem area at times this season for Brentford, as Leeds in possession once again. Pontus Jansson on the edge of his own penalty area, just strokes the ball to Liam Cooper. He should have stroked the ball to Liam Cooper. It's a really poor pass. It's gone straight out of play for a throw-in under absolutely no pressure. That's a really poor piece of play from Jansson, and now Brentford have a throw-in high up the pitch and a chance for them to put some first pressure on the Leeds back line. Odebajo takes the throw-in. It's intercepted by Alioski, and Leeds are able to scramble it clear, but they can't afford lapses in concentration like that, particularly in their own defensive third. Makocho now has it for Brentford, plays it out to the right hand side where they can settle into possession once again. Conser goes back into Jean-Vier. It looks like it might potentially be back three at times for Brentford. That's something we will keep an eye out on. They did play a back three against Millwall on Saturday.
I think it is, because I think Conser keeps peeling out to that right hand side. He's one of the three, Jean-Vier in the middle. Odebajo told to get a little bit further forward and bomb on it if and when he can. It can be a good formation, that. But what I like to see is teams holding players higher up the field than Brentford are at the minute. I think they've got two guys who they want to attack, don't they? Morpay is certainly one of them, and I think maybe Watkins the other. that might not be enough. And I think my gamble would be, particularly for a home team, to keep more bodies up the field. But anyway, Leeds have made a good start for them. They're certainly off the coach, aren't they? And they're playing with the usual energy that we expect from them.
They are, and I think you're right in terms of Brentford. Despite being the home team with a good home record, they're trying, kind of almost just trying to contain Leeds at the moment and play on the counter-attack with the pace of Watkins in particular down the left-hand side. It is a back five, if you like, or a back three with Odebajo and Henry as the wing-backs, Konsa, Janvier and Sorensen the central defenders. And yeah, it does seem like they're happy to sit back and soak up the pressure. Certainly early doors. Leeds, can they take advantage of that? It's Luke Ayling who will take a throw in midway inside the Brentford half. Finds Hernandez, who chests it back to the right back, but Sawyers now nips in for Brentford and can clear down the channel, but there's no one up there on the halfway line, so it will come straight back for Leeds with their goalkeeper Kiko Casilla. Plays a little 1-2 there with Janssen, a little bit unnecessary, but Casilla has it again on the edge of his own penalty area. Leeds can look to build again, but it is surprising. Brentford are set up, even though they're a side with not too much to play for, and you know, in a way they could go for this, a bit of a free hit, but they're set up very defensively and happy to play on the counter-attack. Yeah,
it's funny how teams have decided they're going to take Leeds on today. There's a little bit of belt and braces about what Brentford are doing, whereas I think that you really need to help players up there. Shot from range misses by a lot. Caños there with the effort, but really sliced that. Terrible effort. But yeah, they I don't think they know. It's almost like they haven't scouted, or they haven't got a really great idea. But we'll see how they get on, because you never know. For Leeds, they're certainly trying to get on the front foot, but we're just seeing a spell of possession now for the Bees.
Yeah, Romain Sawyers has it in the middle of the park, rolls it across to Ezri Konsa. Konsa down the channel. First real involvement for Ollie Watkins in the game, starting from the right-hand side into Sawyers. Sawyers now to Neil Morpay, who does like to drop off the front from time to time and link the play whenever he can. Watkins again involved. Little 1-2 between him and Caños on the edge of the Leeds penalty area. He's held up fairly though by Luke Ayling, and Ayling can now try and bring the ball clear for Leeds. He goes down, looking for a free kick. He gets it off the official, tries to take it a little bit too quickly as well. Makocho gets the block in, but it'll be a free kick to Leeds midway inside their own half. This is the final match in the Championship today. All 24 teams will have been in action. This one rounding off the fixtures over the busy Easter weekend. Just one or two signs. We're bringing you independent off-tube studio commentary. Liam Cooper back from injury today, and the camera is panning towards him. Stuart Dallas is warming up on the sidelines. I just wonder if Cooper isn't going to be able to continue.
Was that Dallas, or was it Berardi? I think it's going to be Berardi come on if Cooper is injured. He slips down there. But here come Brentford forward now. This is meaningful. A shot comes in. It's a good block by Ayling. But the Bees now getting on the front foot.
Yeah, it's a good spell for Brentford. Caños, who's been heavily involved over recent minutes, just loses his footing, and Forshaw can now bring it clear for Leeds. Searching ball over the top, looking towards Bamford, but always too much pace on the pass, and there's a signal now. Alioski's the man signalling, so perhaps Alioski and Cooper are struggling, and that would explain why Dallas and Berardi are warming up. Alioski's now gone down, looks resigned to his fate almost. We're looking at a replay now of when he just overstretched trying to intercept a pass, so at the very least Alioski's day looks like it's done, with concerns around Cooper as well.
I've seen that quite a bit today. I think that because it's warm, players that haven't warmed up properly, they just think, we're job done for them. But you've got to stretch things out to some degree. Certainly get the muscles hot before you go on. I think players haven't done that, and Alioski paying the price. Just hyperextended there, and he looks like he's run his race.
Still goalless at Griffin Park between Brentford and Leeds. The visitors have made a lively start though. Patrick Bamford with a curling effort from just about on the penalty spot that went just wide of the target, and then he set up Tyler Roberts, who looked like he was going to be breaking through one-on-one, but a heavy touch allowed Luke Daniels, the Brentford goalkeeper, to come out and claim the ball. There is concerns though for Leeds. Gianni Alioski looks like his day is over. He's gone down with a muscular injury. Stuart Dallas looks set to come on for him. Liam Cooper as well, just back from injury, may well be a concern. He might not be able to last the full 90 minutes. It is Leeds who are slightly on top, but it remains goalless.
Yeah, he's been ever present this season, Jan Alioski. And I think he's played tremendously well in that left back slot. He's not a left back, but and certainly gets forward well. But then Dallas, he might be playing his wrong foot, but again, he's got an ambition to get forward. He is a winger by trade. As Casilla clears his lines there, and he chips that ball straight out. Undoubtedly a blow for Leeds United, but they'll have to get on with it. And like we said, Dallas a decent player. They did have Douglas at the start of the season playing in that left back slot, and he's not on the bench today. Now we just see an opportunity. Morpay trying to straighten up at the edge of the area, gets the ball away, maybe half a chance now for Brentford, but in the end I think Kanyos couldn't quite get his shot away. Turned away from goal and lost the ball.
Yeah, Brentford will come again though. Watkins trying to link up with Morpay, and it breaks for Neil Morpay, edge of the box, tries to cut back onto his right foot. Janssen does a decent job of holding him up, and then Kanyos lashes the ball over the top of the crossbar. That was an opening for Brentford, and had Neil Morpay had more faith in his left foot, then he would have been having a direct strike towards goal.
Yeah, I think so, but how many one-footed strikers do we see? You just no confidence there. But I felt if he was going to strike with that left foot, he probably was going to be blocked anyway. That didn't help his mind up, did it? But yeah, Morpay's a decent striker. A lot of goals this season, but they're just a bit ponderous, I thought.
Yeah, 20 plus goals for the Frenchman so far in this campaign. He's been linked with the likes of Huddersfield and Aston Villa over recent weeks. Potentially this could be one of his last games for Brentford, as Henry now drives the ball into the box for the Bees, and it's cleared away at the front post by Liam Cooper, who still doesn't look fully comfortable, but it will be a Brentford corner now. The Bees are certainly growing into this game, starting to show a little bit more ambition. It's Ollie Watkins who's trotting across to the far side as we look to take this corner. It'll be an in-swinger with his right foot. Sorenson's come forward from the back and looks a particularly big man. Jean-Vier as well got a goal recently. Concer's up there, 3 big central defenders for Ollie Watkins to try and aim at, and they've all gone and stood inside the Leeds 6-yard box in front of goalkeeper Kiko Casilla. Watkins signals and drills the ball up towards the far post, where it's over the head of Jean-Vier, but it might fall for Neil Morpay in the penalty area. He twists, turns, but is challenged. First touch of the ball for Stuart Dallas, and he can lash the ball left-footed up towards the halfway line, where Bamford almost nicked in a little bit of hesitant defending between Sawyers and I think it was Odebajo coming across. They get away with it and are able to clear their lines. In fact, it was Henry who managed to get the ball down the channel.
Yeah, Bamford read play pretty well there, didn't he? And in the end, he's got that sort of forcing one-on-one with the defender. If he blocks it into Bamford, he could run away from him and get himself one-on-one with the goalkeeper. So decent play that. We've seen Alioski ice on the left knee. But like we said, he run his race. Stuart Dallas replaced him already. Been a good ebb and flow again. For neutrals, it's a pretty good game, isn't it? Because both teams are hard at it. Yeah,
there's a decent pace, and both sides are trying to get forward. Brentford were a little bit defensive to start with, but they've grown into the game. As Click brings the ball forward for Leeds. Good pass into the feet of Dallas. It just won't drop for the Northern Ireland international, and then he's guilty of being a little bit over-exuberant in the challenge there on Esri Konsa, and that'll be a free kick to Brentford on the edge of their own penalty area. Thomas Frank, their Danish manager, scribbling notes down on the sideline. It's been a bit of a transitional season really for Brentford since Dean Smith left during the autumn, when they were pushing towards the top end of the table, looking towards the playoffs, but uncertainty after Smith exited and they've slipped away to mid-table. Frank though has had 1 or 2 eye-catching results and seems set to remain in charge going into this summer. A couple of good results will certainly bring some feel-good factor to Brentford heading towards the end of the campaign, as Stuart Dallas attempted clearance down the line is cut out by Ollie Watkins. But there was a stage earlier in the season where Brentford were expected to be alongside the likes of Leeds, Sheffield United and Norwich, and challenging for at the very least a playoff spot.
Well, Tom, even more than that, they were the bookies' favourites to go up at one point. They were 9-2. Believe it or not. Here's the ball over the top for Bamford. Poor first touch for him. Today, Leeds, Bamford, Roberts have both had great opportunities and both made a mess of them. That's a terrific ball, isn't it, from deep there. Well, I say poor touches. He didn't get a touch, but he needed to there. Here's a chance for Bamford again. Shot comes in. Oh, and his drive there is blocked. He's slid down, and he wants something from the referee, but I think the referee's right. Nothing doing there. But, well, a few chances in quick succession as Forshaw takes a shot. And the keeper dives and saves.
It's got to be interesting to see this penalty shout again. Actually, Bamford looks a cut inside Julien Jonvier. I don't think Jonvier actually gets much of the ball at all. We'll get another angle on it. Bamford trying to switch the ball onto his right foot, flicks it through the legs of Jonvier. For me, he takes him down, and that's a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say that Bamford's desperate to get caught by Jonvier, and Jonvier just about obliges. He's cutting inside him in the box. Yeah, I think it's one of those. I didn't believe it at the time, and I think it would be soft, but nonetheless, I think it's one of those things that VAR would say, look at it again and again and again. Jonvier's made no contact with the ball. He's made contact with Bamford. Therefore, it's a penalty kick.
It's one of those, isn't it? When you slow it down in the slow motion, it looks more and more a penalty, but the referee only gets one view in real time. Bamford certainly flicks the ball beyond Jonvier. I don't think he doesn't get any of the ball, does he? He's missed the ball. Bamford's done him, for want of a better expression, and it's very, very clumsy from Julien Jonvier.
I think a couple of things I think about that is that in real time it's different. Keith Stroud is the referee. I was told it was James Linnington, but Keith Stroud. When he cuts that ball, he's not going to get on the end of his own cut. Do you know what I mean? So therefore the ball's not in play. To some degree, that's what I think. If he's got closer skill, just dabs it through his legs and he's going to then strike, you know, it certainly looks a bit more damning. I think the fact that the ball got away from him didn't help his cause, but there was clear contact, so it should have been a penalty. Yeah,
you can see Marcelo Bielsa as well, speaking to the fourth official on the sidelines. You know exactly what he was thinking when that penalty appeal was turned away. Leeds are in possession once again. It's with their goalkeeper Kiko Casilla. He strokes it across to Liam Cooper, who does seem okay, and he just rolls the ball and plays a little 1-2 there with Pontus Jansson.
I'll tell you what, Tom, I mean, we've had 19 minutes and there have been all sorts of drama already. I mean, we've had loads of goal chances. Leeds have created a load of chances, haven't they? But it's been their misfortune not to take the stack of chances that they create for themselves. You know, maybe they're not good enough like that, but you know, Brentford will certainly have opportunities to score. So they've got great paces. Ayling tries a little flick with the outside of his right boot and does nothing with it. I think there almost definitely going to be a few goals in this game.
You'd imagine so, but arguably someone to put the ball in the back of the net on a regular basis has been one of the differences between Leeds and, say, Sheffield United and Norwich this season. Norwich have Pukki, the division's top scorer, got another one today. Sheffield United have Billy Sharp, who, yes, is out injured now, but was amongst the goals. And Leeds haven't really had a striker who's scored on a regular basis. Both Roof and Patrick Bamford have contributed, but they haven't got anywhere near the 20 goals mark, which could be one of the reasons why Leeds currently find themselves trailing the top two.
Half a chance there for Tyler Roberts, just the edge of the area, looking to cut away and get his right foot shot. The defender just about holds it in there. But Leeds driving forward again. They're really impressive on the ball today. They're desperate for it, aren't they, this time? Well, the ball, I think, goes out for a corner kick. So an opportunity then for the Whites, who, have got their targets. Jansson's decent from these set pieces. Cooper not bad.
Yeah, Jack Harrison, the man who won the corner there, looks like he's going to take it. The on loan Manchester City player Cooper has made his way into the box. Both he and Jansson, as John was mentioning, are the obvious targets for Jack Harrison to aim at. They're not the biggest side in the Championship. Leeds, it'll be an outswinger with the left foot of Harrison. Sends it high towards the far post, over the heads of their two Leeds centre-backs, but it'll drop to Forshaw. Edge of the area, drives a shot in and it deflects just wide of the target. I thought for a second that was going to nestle in the corner. Outstretched was Luke Daniels trying to get there, and it flies just wide of the post.
Yeah, from a long way out, he knew what he was going to do, and had there not been that block, I think that might have gone in. Through a ruck of players, maybe the goalkeeper didn't see that.
Harrison again looping the corner to the far post. This one really badly overhit. Hernandez will scramble on the far side, but he's closer to the halfway line than he is the Brentford goal. Eventually the ball comes into the box, and it's a comfortable claim on this occasion for Luke Daniels. as it remains Brentford 0, Leeds 0. Still goalless in the match at Griffin Park between Brentford and Leeds. Leeds, though, do look the better side. Indeed, Gianni Alioski was replaced by Stuart Dallas after picking up that injury, but it hasn't affected their flow. They've had a couple of decent opportunities, a penalty appeal as well, and they can feel hard done by that they didn't get the spot kick awarded by referee Keith Stroud. Patrick Bamford, it was, in the area, flicked the ball beyond the defender, Julien Jonvier, who caught his legs. Looked like a penalty, but the referee decided not to give it. There's been chances as well for Leeds. Adam Forshaw's had a deflected effort just wide of the goal. Brentford have had spells in the game but are yet to test goalkeeper Kiko Casilla. It's Brentford 0, Leeds 0.
Forshaw, a little scamper in the middle of the park. Here's an opportunity. Click on it. Looking for the reverse ball. Cannot find Bamford. Clever play that by Leeds. At the minute they're running Brentford ragged. I think it's a bit of the tortoise and the hare today in a strange way. But Brentford look like they've got sprinters out there, and Leeds have got marathon runners, but Leeds are drawing that sting out of them. Yes, they're quick over, a short bit of ground, but they're making them work dead hard and really stretching the Brentford. So Tyler Roberts flicks the ball over the top. This time Bamford does not run for that, and the ball will be played out between the centre-back, Janvier, Concert, and then out to the left-hand side. But yeah, I think Leeds will be pleased with the start, but again, it's no good if they can't put the ball in the back of the net. Yeah,
Leeds have been the better team so far. The argument is, though, that they also dominated the possession and territory against Wigan, but weren't clinical enough, and the same problems could be rearing their head once again. But they've got 3/4 of the game to get themselves on the score sheet at least once. It's Brentford 0, Leeds 0. I'll hand you over now to John to take you through to the half-time whistle.
Yeah, so it's the same pattern. I've watched Leeds a lot this season, and it seems like in every game they're going to get 64% possession and create about somewhere between 24 and 28 chances. Now, sometimes they've not scored off all that, and sometimes they've got 2 or 3. I wonder what sort of game that it's going to be today. So far, they've not been lucky because Bamford, we felt was tackled and fouled inside the Brentford area. The referee didn't give it, and I must admit, looking in real time, I didn't feel it. It's only when we've had the benefit of slow-mo. So I'm not going to say too much about the referee there. But here come Leeds again. Bamford just holding it up the edge of the area, but it's a poor layoff for him. And in the end, he gives his teammate Harrison no chance there. The Man City loanee. Leeds continue to be linked with Danny James from Swansea, and it may well be if they go up that they're able to grab hold of him. I think he would certainly be the type of player that they require. Watkins trying to make a break, doesn't quite get there, and Ayling holds him up and takes the throw. Well, he's waiting to take the throw anyway. So Brentford 0, Leeds 0. Quite how that is in this opening, I don't know. 2 games left for the Whites this season, and they've got Aston Villa up next, who don't know how to lose at the minute, and have gone on their best ever run in I think in their history or something like that, with 10 victories today. Is it 10 or 11? I can't remember. Anyway, they're a good team. There's the ball played to Odebajo, but he can't get there. Poor ball for him. That's not going to be easy for them, although they're at home, and then in theory last game of the season away at the already relegated Ipswich Town, where it might not be a formality, but it's not a game that should fill Leeds with any dread.
No, I mean, the argument is the easiest game, or one of the easiest games you can have in the division. Ipswich, since having relegation confirmed, they lost 4-0 on Friday and then lost 1-0 at home to Swansea today, so arguably you could say they've already switched off and are looking ahead to next season. But you can only beat the team that's out there. Leeds will potentially, if it goes down to the final day, will have a lot of nerves and trepidation, and in the end it's less about the opponent that you're up against and more about almost trying to play and manage the occasion.
Yeah, that's right. They tried to get a lot more tickets off Ipswich Town, but they got 4,000, that's all. They could have probably taken their 16,000 down, though. I'm surprised because it won't be a full house, I don't think. And all that's going to happen is that the town fans get infiltrated, and if Leeds manage to score, you'll see how many Leeds fans have got in and amongst the locals. Anyway, long ball for Brentford, played back by Ayling to his keeper. Guess he gives him it back. Ayling with a percentage ball down the line. Bamford holds it up. But then Janvier with the challenge. Well, he doesn't take it off him. And now the counter-attack is well and truly on over the halfway line. Dallas makes ground. Harrison takes the man away. It's a good ball on the inside for Click. Click's strike is blocked at source. Ball breaks for Forshaw. More energy in the middle of the park there than Sawyers, and just takes the ball away from him. Leeds have it again at the edge of the area. Tyler Roberts peels out, puts the ball to the far post. Up go the heads, but Odebajo didn't really need to do that. But it looks like Harrison's won another corner kick for his team. And again, it's still Leeds who look like a steamroller at the minute.
Yeah, they're really probing and stretching Brentford, as we keep mentioning. A very hot evening as well across the country, so that'll be tiring Brentford out as they continue to chase the ball. And if Leeds can keep this pressure on, you imagine more chances will come.
Corner kick comes in, ball headed away, breaks the edge of the area, and eventually for Forshaw, takes on his chest and scrapes that ball out left hand side. Chance for Harrison, takes on his man, deals a really good ball in at the near post. Sawyers didn't make a good enough job of blocking away. Eventually I think Sorensen helping clear. Forshaw wriggles past the challenge in the middle of the park, and now the ball clipped forward by Hernandez. Not a good ball, but the clearance wasn't great either. Sawyers then delivers a ball into midfield, but Watkins pocket pinched. Ayling now driving forward, ball stabbed away from him, but Hernandez recycles. Brentford can't get out of their own half at the minute. Ball out to Harrison, controls it just about, and he's cut back. He's blocked away for yet another corner.
Yeah, Brentford won a handball against Jack Harrison. I think the ball might have struck his arm, but there was no necessarily any intent there. It does just flick up against the right arm. I can see why Moses Odebajo was complaining. The referee, though, spotted it and decided it wasn't deliberate.
Maybe he feels if he didn't give him a penalty, he might have to give him something to placate them. There's no doubt the message would have got out that he's missed one. Anyway, ball to the far post here. Might just break to the edge of the area, but the effort from Dallas is a poor one. And on the volley, he smashes it right over.
Yeah, Leeds really not laying siege on Brentford, but pinning the home side back. Brentford seem happy to soak up the pressure, but they don't have an outball at the moment. It's not sticking with Morpay or Watkins when they do look to break forward. There doesn't seem much of a midfield plan necessarily from Brentford. They've got the back five almost with the two guys sitting in front, and then they're just almost saying to Sergi Canos, Ollie Watkins and Neil Morpay, do what you can up front. It's a bit disjointed from the Bees so far, which is why they're struggling to get any real momentum in the game.
So far today we've had some interesting scorelines. I did the Derby Queen's Park Rangers game. Rangers were good value for the draw that they were going to get until they didn't. And then on the 94 minutes, the first goal, a penalty kick that was given that maybe shouldn't have been. Bogle just to have been brought down, and Wilson slots the penalty. Then on 100 minutes they get their second, and that catapulted Derby into the playoff positions today. Courtesy of good results elsewhere, with Bristol City losing and Nottingham Forest beating Middlesbrough. It's a funny old division, isn't it, where lots of teams run hot and cold.
Well, you don't want to predict, even at this stage, who's going to get automatic, who's going to squeeze into the playoffs. Middlesbrough, Derby and Bristol City keep interchanging week by week, and no one can get a string of 2 or 3 results together. If someone can do that, then they're almost guaranteed to achieve their objectives.
Mokotjo at the edge of the area, then they find Morpay sliding block there, and that's from Janssen. He does his part there, the Swede, and stops the momentum. But that was good from Brentford as they try and work it again at the edge of the area, but Leeds pick up the ball. This time Bamford's peeled out to the left flank. He's able to hold the ball up pretty well this time. Brentford trying to get the press high up. Odebajo's done a good job there, and that forced Dallas just to stab that ball out. First time really that Brentford have put their stamp on the game and tried to press high up the field, and it actually worked.
Yeah, it was much better from them. Nice little interchange between Watkins and Morpay on the edge of the area, and this time Morpay on his stronger right foot does go for the first time shot, but it was good defending from Janssen sliding in to get the block away.
Yep, as Leeds come again with Hernandez centrally, then he flicks it out to right hand side. Decent ball. What can Ayling do? Well, on the half volley, just smashes it up in the air. Not good from him, but they need a little bit more composure. At times Ayling's been great this season, at times distinctly poor. But they're, I suppose, difficult. They're trying to play the ball early and upset the opposition by doing that. When it works, it's great. When it doesn't, it looks poor.
Yeah, it was a poor attempt really from Ayling. I think he should have been trying to recycle possession on that occasion. They probably, from a Leeds point of view, need to get Pablo Hernandez more involved. He's the one player in the team who can really unlock a defence with a pass from open play. And I thought he was quite quiet against Wigan as well, so they need to try and find the way to get the best out of him.
Yeah, I think games in quick succession are not the friend of Hernandez. You know, any player who is knocking past 30 really probably once a week in between, you just don't come back from those bumps and bruises quite so quickly, and you know, then you're playing on them. Anyway, undoubtedly a lot of these Leeds players are feeling this and that, as we see a breakdown left hand side, and Canos does well. Great ball into the box, an opportunity here, and then the shot is blocked. I think that might have been Henry with the final effort that took a good block. But a great play by Brentford down that left-hand side, particularly Canos.
Brilliant play from Canos. He leaves a couple of Leeds players for dead. On his day, he is one of the most talented forward players in the division. Really frustrating on occasions. He can't always get the consistency, but brilliant pace and power there. Then he has the presence of mind to pick out Henry, who gets the shot away. Leeds just about had enough bodies back to block it. Yeah,
Janssen blocking there before from Morpay, and then Cooper doing his job, but it's a corner kick. They're not a big team, Leeds. Brentford not massive either, and that was headed away by Janssen. In fact, was it Cooper at the near post, and Janssen shoved to the ground, which is a free kick for Leeds United.
Still goalless at Griffin Park between Brentford and Leeds. Leeds, the visitors, have had plenty of the ball, plenty of their territory. There's a similar feel to actually their game they lost against Wigan on Friday. They just can't seem to create enough clear goal-scoring opportunities. And in truth, Brentford, when they have ventured forward, have had a couple of decent efforts. Neil Morpay had a shot blocked by Pontus Jansson, which was heading goal-bound, and perhaps more impressively, great work by Sergi Canos down the left for Brentford. Set up Rico Henry, who struck towards goal. This time it was Liam Cooper who got the block in. It's Brentford 0, Leeds 0.
He's moving the ball in possession, and Dallas now takes it over the halfway line. Flicks it to Tyler Roberts. All right foot, tries to just scrape it back to him, and the ball goes out. It looks like it will be a Leeds throw. They want to take it quickly, but Dallas now just settles it down. Ball aimed at Bamford, and put out will be a throw further down the field on the left-hand side for Leeds United. Brentford 0, Leeds 0. The Bees have done all right in the opening. Leeds had just managed to get on top. Had a series of chances, certainly from corner kicks down the left-hand side. But they're forced to go backwards now with the Dallas all right foot. Finds it Janssen, who lays it back to Cooper. Janssen again picks it up, the Swede, and then he scrapes it left-footed back to his keeper. Casilla then launches a long ball over the top, but that's a poor header back from Odebaggio. I don't know if the flag had gone up though on Harrison, because it looks like it's going to be a Brentford free kick.
Yeah, I thought it was a good searching ball actually from Kika Casilla over the top, and forced Odebaggio into the header that would have gone behind for a corner if the offside flag hadn't been raised. Jack Harrison really shouldn't have been getting caught offside in that kind of situation, but just one shot on target in the game so far. That's not the greatest for 35 minutes of football. There's been a lot of probing from both sides, but particularly Leeds, but just that lack of quality in the final third hasn't quite been there yet.
Yep. As well, they make a bit of a mess of playing out from the back there. Cooper very nearly hands it on a plate, and now they've got a tougher job of getting out from the back, but Ayling does a good job to find Forshaw. He stabs it forward, ball laid back by Click. Leeds trying to rumble back into gear now. The ball goes out to Dallas, but Watkins keeps him honest. He puts a good ball the inside though, and this allows Click a bit more time. Pot shot and a long ball over the top. That's not the answer really. No great angle there, and out comes the keeper. Daniels saw that from a long way out, and he puts a good ball out to the left hand side. Now chance for Henry. And don't forget Canos down that side looking for a killer ball, and he finds one to Watkins. That ball headed back where it came by Dallas. Great ball by Canos, who's just beginning to get into his stride and show us a bit of quality.
Yeah, ominous signs of he's on his game. Lovely switch, perfectly weighted, and Watkins is clever. He just tries to flick that away from Stuart Dallas, who would have been committed, but Dallas just about got his head on the ball and could divert it behind for the corner.
I think Dallas did well there to not overcommit, when he's drawing that ball back on the inside of him. Dallas did pretty well to put it out. Anyway, the corner kick now for Watkins to take. Can he find any of the big guys in there? Ball comes in, headed away by one of the rear guard. Ball breaks back out to Makotjo at the edge of the area. And the launching one to Watkins. He recycles it, but in the end, I think the flag had gone up for Watkins offside. So both teams are a little bit guilty of making a mess of it in the final third. Still goalless then. I think Leeds will be happy enough that they've got on the front foot. They put a lot of energy into the game so far. But at 0-0, still anybody's game.
Yeah, and I'd argue that Brentford, certainly over the last 15 or 20 minutes or so, have created just as many chances as Leeds, despite seeing a lot less of the ball. And just waiting for Neil Maupay or Patrick Bamford at the other end to take one of the opportunities that come along. At the moment, the final finish hasn't been there for either team. We're going through a bit of a scrappy spell as well. We've had a few offsides, a few needless free kicks given away. The game's threatened to get going on a number of occasions, but it just hasn't had that moment of inspiration, that spark to really bring it to life.
Yeah, and of course the referee, had he pointed to the penalty spot, would have made the game a bit livelier. Albeit the last penalty they had was missed by Hernandez, or at least he didn't score it. And maybe the game against Wigan would have been different had they got a 2-goal advantage against 10 men, but they'll never know now. Romain Sawyers tries to force the ball inside. It's not good from him, and neither is the little heel from Tyler Roberts, who then sees his man run past him, Konsa. Ball breaks the edge of the area, and a strong challenge on Odebajo. Konsa's continued to support the attack and rolls the ball back on the inside. Lovely turn at the edge of the area. Chance for a shot. What a shot. What a save. Canos is in his pomp today. His left foot curler was a beauty. And Casilla was the equal of that, and that's the best bit of football we've seen today.
Well, he's had 3 moments in the space of 5 minutes, Sergi Canos, that have been absolutely brilliant, would be worthy of gracing any football field around the world. That's a lovely turn away from Ayling, and he angles that left foot shot towards the corner. It's a good save from Kika Casilla. Canos so unlucky. He is the game's standout player so far.
He sure is. Corner kick then for Brentford. Another opportunity so far. They've defended these fairly well. The ball comes in to the far post, overhit, curls straight out, disappointing. So 39 minutes on the clock, it is goalless. There'll be plenty of support for Leeds at Griffin Park. I'm sure they've taken a few thousand again, making a load of noise. The team has started fairly brightly, but the home side are certainly playing okay. Outstanding is Canos so far today, and if he can drag the rest of his teammates with him, then I think they could give Leeds a bloody nose today. I really do. Anyway, this game in the lap of the gods as Casilla plays out from the back. I think Brentford have been a bit braver holding bodies up the field than they were right at the start. It looks like to start with they just thought, well, Maupay and Watkins can chase them and everybody else drift back. I think the words got out from the Brentford bench, look, you're playing too deep. And so now they're pressing them really high up the field, and I think that's the right thing to do against this Leeds team.
Yeah, I'd agree, because there were spells around 10-15 minutes ago where it looked like Leeds were just... It was only a matter of time before they were going to score. It was one-way traffic, but Brentford have pushed a little bit further forward. Notably, Makotjo and Sawyers are trying to press in central areas, and it's having an effect.
It is, as Brentford make ground down the left-hand side, but they can't keep the ball in this time. Not even the brilliant Canos can make a bad ball good. Well, the most touches in the game, it's pretty much the Leeds back four at the minute, isn't it? They do play out from the back, and they do see a lot of the ball.
They do. It's surprised to see Stuart Dallas on there, because he's had 10 minutes less at least on the field than anyone else coming on as an early substitute for Gianni Alioski. But it does show that Brentford are happy for the Leeds defenders as well to have the ball, and perhaps there's an element of Leeds overplaying at the back and just taking a little bit too long to get the ball forward.
Tyler Roberts now driving forward down the right hand side, tries to break into the box, eventually pocket picked, and Henry just about gets in there, but the ball has not been cleared, and now Ayling a chance to perhaps deliver across at the edge of the area, doesn't do that. Bamford flicks the ball inside, gets it back from Tyler Roberts. Bamford with the shot, scraped away, and Harrison was waiting, but Click picks it up at the edge of the area, pot shots, and that's not far wide.
Yeah, decent effort from Click. It just opened up for him there on his right foot, and he had once again Luke Daniels scrambling a little bit across to his right hand side. Decent effort. Leeds probably need to get more shots in anger away like that, and it's just always probably arcing 2 or 3 yards wide in the end. Perhaps I'm doing Daniels a disservice. I think he had it covered and had his wits about him, but still worth a shot.
Yeah, still an exciting game. Still waiting for the first goal as Daniels clears long and down the line. The defensive header from Cooper wins the day, and then the ball punted down the line, just about dealt with by Consat, the man on the right of the three centre-backs. Jonve in the middle, Beck Sorensen out on the left-hand side. They've plenty of bodies back, don't they? And I guess because they've pushed a bit further up, they've got a coherent attack as well now. As Hernandez has gone deep to pick it up. That's a great ball. But then a lazy touch really by Tyler Roberts, and he can't get on the end of it. And the ball back with Daniels now. For Leeds, they've got to remember what it was that's got them to where they are this season, which is pretty much 1 and 2 touch football. You know, they play the ball quickly and they need to keep doing that and play through the press. Maybe just for the minute Brentford have stopped pressing so remorselessly, and that might just allow Leeds to get back into this game properly.
Yeah, they're looking to come forward now down the right hand side. Actually, some good football there, led by Luke Ayling. Might provide an opportunity, but Brentford's defence again stands reasonably strong. I just think Leeds need to move it quicker from back to front, get the passing going with a bit more momentum.
Foreshore shaped to shoot there, but didn't Ayling attempt to put the ball into the box, blocked away though by Henry, and he'll get a chance from the throw-in now. You know, I think it's hard pressing as Brentford have done, you know, and if Brentford are pushed back deeper, then trying to support the attack gets harder and harder for their midfielders. As Leeds now are trying to work through Hernandez, finds Tyler Roberts in the box, chips one out. Poor ball, that really poor. I mean, Bamford was at the far post, but needed a much better ball than that.
Yeah, it's just floated, lofted really into the goalkeeper's arms. There needs to be a bit more conviction about that from Tyler Roberts, who I don't think has had the greatest opening 43 minutes or so in this game. Was replaced at half time against Wigan during the week. I thought he was having a better game then when he was replaced than necessarily what he's doing now.
Yeah, the changes for Leeds in that game against Wigan were a bit nonsensical really. Tyler Roberts had played all right in that game with a lot of energy. Here now an opportunity, more pace shot, it's into the back of the net, outside of his right boot. It's a beauty, curling it round the onrushing Casilla. A great break from him, and Brentford take the lead.
The deadlock has been broken at Griffin Park. Brentford leads by a goal to nil. It's their leading scorer, Neil Maupay, who's got it, and you can see why he's their leading scorer. It's a clinical finish from the Frenchman. A simple goal, really, from Brentford's point of view. A throw-in inside their own half, played forward by Sergi Canos. Maupay in between the two Leeds central defenders, neither of them marking him, and he breaks forward, and it's a first-time finish. It almost toe pokes it beyond Kiko Casilla and into the back of the net. Brentford have had chances in this game, and now they lead. It's Brentford 1, Leeds 0.
Great ball.
There's some exciting
as you say, lacking conviction like he did for the cross.
Willing to wind down the clock. Let's see, knee right in the small of his back. That's bound to hurt.
Yeah, it's a poor, clumsy challenge from Janssen. No intent necessarily to go into the back of Maupay, but he doesn't need to get that touch tight. He probably doesn't want to get that touch tight, or shouldn't get that touch tight against a player who's as quick and clever as Neil Maupay is. And doesn't look like Brentford are going to show too much ambition from the free kick, as we've played over the 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the half.
But Sawyers now has a route to goal, and he lays it off Mokotjo at the edge of the area. Referee blows his whistle. That's the break with Brentford on the lead.
Half-time, Brentford 1, Leeds 0. The only goal of the half coming on the stroke of half-time. Neil Maupay, Brentford's leading scorer, latching onto a great pass from Sergi Canos to toe-poke the ball beyond Leeds keeper Kiko Casilla. Canos has been the star of the show, really dictating things for Brentford. He forced a really good save from Casilla just before the goal. At the other end, Leeds have had chances through Bamford and Roberts. Bamford also felt he should have had a penalty when he was brought down by Julian Jeanvier, but referee Keith Stroud waved away his protestations. Half-time, Brentford 1, Leeds 0. The only goal of the half coming on the stroke of half-time. Neil Maupay, Brentford's leading scorer, latching onto a great pass from Sergi Canos to toe-poke the ball beyond Leeds keeper Kiko Casilla. Canos has been the star of the show.
Exciting football commentary action coming up on this service with 888 Sport. Check out the extensive range.
Automatic promotion positions with just 2 games left in this season. It really is a big 45 minutes for Leeds, who stride forward at the start of the second half, and Dallas strikes towards goal and forces a save. A good save at that from Luke Daniels, who tips over the top of the crossbar. It's myself, Tom McGarry and John Hogan talking you through this evening's coverage, and Leeds probably need to be more direct, John, and that was certainly that from Stuart Dallas.
Yeah, they've got a load of runners there. So Dallas running forward, and you just think, well, hang on, everything's just peeling away. I'll have a go. It's a good shot and a good save by the keeper.
Corner will be an in-swinger from the far side for Leeds. Janssen and Cooper forward from the back. It's sent towards the far post. Janssen heads it down, but it's cleared half away by Esri Konsa for Brentford. It'll come back out to Hernandez, the corner kick taker. He's got an overlapping run. Cross comes into the box from Forshaw, headed away only as far as the Leeds player who strikes over the top. It's Pablo Hernandez actually picking it up just inside the area, and he curls it over the top of the crossbar. Half an opportunity there for the Spaniard, who was quite quiet during the first half, but a very fast-paced start to the second half from Leeds United. Yeah,
I mean, he gets right underneath that. He's got better technique than that. That tells me that he's tired, I think. Looks a bit haunted there, doesn't he? For Leeds, they need something to go their way because, the season's going south, isn't it? If you look at the Blades running, it's pretty straightforward, really. Leeds, like we said, have got that very difficult game against Aston Villa, who, have just recorded a club record in their winning streak. 10 on the bounce or something, never done before. So to say their tails up is, an understatement. So the Blades are not going to give them anything. I doubt that Norwich are going to keep drawing. At some point, they're going to get it right. And I think for players who've had a long, hard season, the idea that Leeds would want to get drawn into the playoffs, so I don't think so. And I can't see them personally making progress out of the playoffs.
Yeah, so often the team that finishes third and just misses out on automatic promotion can't really rally themselves to go again in the playoffs. Incidentally, if Leeds lose this game this evening, Norwich would just require a point from their final 2 games to secure promotion back to the top flight. Leeds, though, looking to come forward. Tyler Roberts down the left-hand side, just a challenge there by Esri Konsa. Incidentally, in terms of changes at the half-time break, none were made. Stuart Dallas did come on for Jani Alioski during the first half for Leeds. Alioski picking up an early injury, but it's as you were going into the second period in terms of personnel, as Dallas driving into the penalty area with purpose once again. I think, though, the last touch came off the Northern Irishman, so it'll be a goal kick for Brentford, who were happy to sit back and soak up quite a lot of pressure at times during the first half. I imagine that will be the same again, particularly as they have a lead to protect, as Moses Otabaggio just rolls the ball back to his goalkeeper Luke Daniels, who puts his foot through the ball, looking up towards the likes of Watkins and Morpay. Neither of those two could get on the end of it, and Leeds can look to bring the ball forward again. Hernandez infield to Roberts, nice turn from him. Feeds it up towards Bamford, who tries to backheel it back into Roberts. Doesn't come off, and that might allow Brentford to spring a counter-attack. Sergi Canos, the star performer of the first half, should have probably, but can't quite pick out the pass to Watkins on the far side. But that's what Leeds do have to be careful of, the counter-attack. Brentford have looked a threat on the break, particularly when Canos has been able to find a pocket of space.
Yeah, they've got to be wary of that, but in a way they can't be either. They can't lose what they've done all season, which is throw bodies forward, get on the front foot and pass quickly, and that means that when you lose the ball you get counted on quickly as well. In fairness to Leeds, when they've conceded this season, they've managed to pull as much out of the fire in terms of wins and draws as they have lost, so the game is not a lost cause for them by any manner of means as they come forward again. But there's just something about them when they play games in quick succession. They don't quite have it. If they're just a few percentage points off, it allows the opposition in. And they've been pretty good today, don't get me wrong. But again, I think games in quick succession just do not suit this team at all.
Yeah, it's not a big squad either. Leeds at Marcelo Bielsa's disposal, so he doesn't have too many alterations, and he doesn't like to make too many alterations to his starting lineup. Thomas Frank will be happy with the way his side have performed so far, looking relaxed on the sidelines as Konsa plays it down the line towards Otabaggio. Remains Sawyers now for Brentford in the middle of the park. Nice reverse pass into the feet of Watkins, who has pace, but he's shown too much of the ball there to Adam Forshaw. Click picks it up for Leeds, squares it across to Hernandez, back to Click, edge of the Brentford penalty area. Bamford now curling left foot effort, slices it though wide of the target. I'm not sure, it might have taken a deflection on the way through, but it was a bit of a wayward finish.
I think it was a big deflection, that. I can't believe he'd missed that far from there, but maybe he did. He seemed to be walking away. I mean, must have got right underneath that, because he'd ended up in the second tier of the stand.
Well, he's hit it all wrong, hasn't he? Instead of going for the curler, which you'd probably expect from out to in, he's gone from in to out and caught it horribly, and it's gone well wide of the target. It was one of those. It was so poorly struck that you almost presumed it must have been a deflection, but there wasn't, and goal kick was rightly awarded. Leeds, though, have quickly picked up possession once again. Cooper across to Pontus Jansson. Again, those two saw more the ball than anyone during the first half. Jansson up towards the halfway line, picks out Roberts, who turns the ball round the corner, but it's well watched by Rico Henry, who deflects the ball out of play for a throw-in midway inside the Brentford half, which is taken by Ayling. Roberts now trying to make inroads down the right. Again, Henry is the man to get in the way for Brentford, but the second balls are dropping with Leeds at the beginning of this second half. Forshaw, nice turn of pace from him, drop of the shoulder as well. Roberts now on the corner of the Brentford box. He's got Ayling overlapping, uses him as a decoy, digs out a good cross, and it's headed towards goal by Bamford. It's over the top. There may have been some pushing there from Patrick Bamford anyway, so if it got in the back of the net it wouldn't have stood, but good cross and another opportunity for Bamford.
Yeah, shoving the back there on the Janvier, who made it clear what had happened to him, and even then he couldn't get his header on target. Desperation it from Leeds, keep my roofs warming up, but I'm not sure that he's fully back from injury. You know, they've got young Clark as well. They like to bring on. I just, in the same way that they were against Wigan, I just don't quite believe it really. But they need something. I think they need to sort of refine themselves really. They're playing okay, aren't they? And creating the odd chance here and there. But you know what? I just don't believe them today.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle so far for Leeds. Clark and Roof are the obvious options on the bench. Berardi, Peacock Farrell, the backup goalkeeper, Phillips and Shackleton are also on there. I'll give you Brentford's substitutes in a second as Leeds look to come forward. Jack Harrison, who started the second half on the right hand side, can't quite squeeze a pass through to Tyler Roberts. Again, Brentford with plenty of bodies back, and they can now bring it forward. Odebajo striding over the halfway line. He's got plenty of pace, the right wing back, and it's an early cross into the box, which is comfortably enough dealt with by Kiko Casilla. Those Brentford substitutes are De Silva, Force, Gunnarsson, Marcondes, Ogbena, Oksanen and Ratchich. So there's plenty of youth on there for Brentford if Thomas Frank wants to use it. He hasn't used any substitutes so far. Roberts now for Leeds, about 40 yards from goal, just rolls it across to Ayling, and now out to the right hand side where Harrison continues to hug the touchline. Good ball in field to Click from him, who's a little bit hesitant in possession himself but has retained it. Forshaw now to Cooper, back into Adam Forshaw once again, who pirouettes, doesn't have too much movement in front of him, squares to Cooper, who looks more direct out to the right hand side, and it's a good ball, finds Jack Harrison, who shows too much of it to Rico Henry. The ball breaks back to Ayling, who's deep cross towards the far post, flicked half clear by Conser. Odebajo then makes a bit of a hash of his attempted clearance, and in fact Odebajo is adjudged to have given away a free kick there on Stuart Dallas. I don't know if there was a handball potentially as well, but either way a set piece in a dangerous position for Leeds.
Yeah, Leeds are trying to play that 1 and 2 touch, but it's easier to do that when players are making runs for you. I think they look that little bit more tired today, that those passes are less obvious, there's less targets for them to hit, but here they've got an opportunity. You know, Brentford have conceded a lot from set piece this season, only Preston and Swansea more, so a chance then for Leeds United. Yeah,
18 they've conceded in the Championship so far this term at Brentford, and they've got some defending to do, trying to hold a line on the edge of the 6-yard box. The ball will be a right-footed in-swinger from Hernandez on the left-hand side. It's towards the far post, but it's too high for everyone, and that'll go behind for a goal kick. Hernandez gestures to the players in the box, but quality wasn't really there from him on that occasion. That is a wasted opportunity for Leeds in what was in a promising position, as Kemal Roof does look like he's about to enter the fray imminently. You got any thoughts, John, on who he might replace?
Well, there's a stack of players he could replace. Tyler Roberts, who's working hard but not getting it done. Pablo Hernandez, who's not able to work that hard and lacking quality with what he's doing today. He's going to keep Bamford out there, surely. I doubt it'll be like for like, but we'll see, because one or two are under par today.
Yeah, Click, who was just hobbling there, he was just caught off the ball. He plays the ball out to Ayling on the right hand side, who cuts infield and then reverts back out to Harrison, who tries to drop the shoulder, but Henry is matching him stride for stride. Harrison into Hernandez, reverse ball from him is a good one. Robert stretches, gets hold of the ball. Can he pick out a man with his cross? It's a low delivery, spilled by Daniels, kept alive in the penalty area by Bamford. I think that will go behind, or it should have gone behind for a corner, although the referee's assistant, not sure if that's an offside or if he's adjudged the ball has gone out of play. Either way, the decision has gone with Brentford.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler Roberts did quite well there, but he's trying to force that ball across the face. I think it does go out on Bamford, quite frankly, and he can't keep it in. But I thought it's a poor ball from Tyler Roberts in the first place.
Brentford 1, Leeds 0 it remains, but Leeds are up in the ante at the start of this second half, trying to force the issue and getting more shots away on goal inside the first minute of the second half. We saw Stuart Dallas test the reflexes of Luke Daniels. Daniels has certainly been busier than he was for the majority of the first period, but nothing really clear-cut as of yet for Leeds, who are about to throw Kemar Roof on as their second substitute. Tyler Roberts will be the man that he replaces, but they need to up it a little bit, Leeds. Brentford happy to sit back, not seen anything of their attacking trio at the start of this second half, but we don't need to, because they lead Leeds by 1-0.
Yeah, for me, Tyler Roberts, man of the match when Leeds destroyed West Bromwich Albion this season. But he put a lot of energy into the game today, but he just didn't have that final bit of finesse or quality of the finish, and he needs to work at that, because he's got a pretty good engine about him. He got around the pitch really well today. But Leeds now having to clear their lines with Dallas. Bamford on the half turn. He beats one, but he can't beat two. The ball eventually taken away from him by Konsa. Roll forward, chance for Canos. Looked like he turned into trouble there. Ayling puts a foot in, gets the ball. Harrison, who switched out to the flank, has got Henry all over him yet again. Now he finds an out ball, but it's a percentage ball down the line. And what a bad Joe letting that ball go out. In fact, he played it. He keeps it in, but he only hands it to Hernandez. Ball into the box. There was a little slip there by Kemar Roof, and that certainly helped Makotjo get the ball away. Morpay wants a free kick and wins a free kick. I think the Leeds defender did go back through his ankle.
Yeah, it's good play from Neil Morpay. We saw that at the end of the first half as well. The Leeds central defenders too eager to nip in and win the ball back. Again, it was Janssen who's caught Morpay. He was a clever striker. He's going to try and draw the foul, and that's exactly what Brentford need if they are going to be sitting back and soaking up a lot of pressure. They need strikers to get hold of the ball or draw free kicks just to allow them to get up the pitch and get a breather, and also add to the frustration that Leeds will be feeling as Roof gets his first touch of the ball, rolls it into the feet of Ayling. Forshaw now, back to Luke Ayling, who can stride up towards the halfway line. Ball forward from him is a really good one to pick out. Click in a pocket of space. Click into the feet, or behind Patrick Bamford. It was probably the wrong choice in ball. Never mind the right execution from Click. Leeds, I thought they were going to get away with it and get another corner, but again, the referee's assistant has raised his flag. It was just a poor all round once Click got the ball.
Yeah, they'll swear to you that these players are not tired at Leeds, but I think that, it's not only the physicality, but here Forshaw wins the ball and he's taken down by his Sawyers there, and that should be a yellow card, certainly free kick in a dangerous area. I think mentally, there's a lot of mental tiredness, it looks like to me. Cluttered thinking from Leeds at times. Forshaw's that bit fresher, isn't he, today? I think he's playing pretty well. And, there he just nicked in before Sawyers, and he certainly got caught.
Yeah, Sawyers, he knows what he's doing to a degree, getting his body in the way of the ball to make sure Forshaw can't get there after he was played into trouble by Julien Janvier. He is a little bit fortunate, Sawyers, to get away without a yellow card. It's a free kick, which Pablo Hernandez is certainly interested in. Jack Harrison standing over it as well. Perhaps a little bit too far out for a direct shot at goal, and that's why Hernandez is flicking the ball in towards the far post. Up go the heads, and it's headed half clear by Konsa. Cooper will try and keep it alive down the left hand side. He digs out a cross as well, but floated delivery, comfortable claim for Luke Daniels once again. They're getting the set pieces, they're certainly putting the pressure on Brentford, but they're not really hurting the Bees at the moment. Leeds. Brentford defensively looking pretty strong as Morpay now, the man who's gave them this 1-0 advantage, draws a throw-in from Pontus Jansson, and that should get Brentford for one of the first times in this second half up the pitch.
Yeah, it's right. They've well, it's not been an onslaught. They've just struggled with their own goal forward. I think half of that is because they're sat in a lead. You know, I think it's a lot easier just to sit back, soak up the pressure, and not extend yourself when you've got that advantage. You know, if it was back to 0-0, I think they'd be closing and pressing a bit more. I think the way the game's panned out really has played into their hands. I mean, so they don't have to expend quite as much energy.
Yeah, they can sit back and bide their time and just clear their lines, and as and when the chances could potentially come their way, then they can look to go forward like they are looking to do now. And that's good skill from Watkins. He gets away from one challenge into Morpay into Canos. Can he provide the finish? He most certainly can. Sergi Canos doubles Brentford's advantage at Griffin Park. They lead Leeds United by 2-0. It's the first sniff they've had in this second period, and it's a long way back for Leeds now.
Yeah, it sure is. Brilliant play though, great build-up play between the three attacking players. And we talked about Canos just magicking them boots. Really deft little finish from him. We haven't seen that quality from Leeds. They've had their chances, but that was a top draw finish.
The first time Brentford have ventured forward in this second half, and they've scored and doubled their lead. They're now 2-0 up against Leeds. It's brilliant play. First of all from Ollie Watkins on the left-hand side. Flicks the ball through the legs of Pontus Jansson. Plays it into Neil Morpay, who on the edge of the area must be thinking of having a strike towards goal. But no, instead he rolls a lovely slide rule pass into Sergi Canos, who's still got work to do himself, but with the outside of his right foot, dinks it over the advancing Kika Casilla under pressure and into the back of the net. Brentford lead Leeds United by 2-0. Leeds have it all to do in this game.
Yep, they sure do. So, for the Leeds fans who've made the trip, they realise that their team have, scored some heroic victories this season from behind. You can't keep going back to that well. Anyway, the ball crossed in, blocked off. Janvier will be at least a corner kick for the Whites, who need a goal. Need something to grab onto, don't they? Because, I don't know, they look just a little bit anchorless today, if you like. Blowing in the breeze. But can they find something more substantial with Hernandez corner kick game? That's gone out before it's come back in. Like I say, I think, there's a lot going wrong for them today. Wrong decisions, just little bits and pieces of tiredness creeping in. And that's costing them. Anyway, Leeds are going to make a change now, and it's not the most obvious one. I think Pontus Jansson may be coming off for Clark.
Yeah, it's a very attack-minded change, isn't it, from Marcelo Bielsa? Jansson's not had a great game, in all truth, but being on a wide attacking player in Jack Clark for a centre-back, I think Leeds are sensing that it's throw the kitchen sink time. Cooper, Ayling could be a potential, almost with Forshaw there, could become something of a back three, but they'll have a view to get forward whenever they can, and then Clark will just be another option in the final third. It's not a time for formations when you're chasing a 2-0 deficit at this stage in the season. Leeds really need a victory, never mind just a point from this game, so they're looking for 3 goals in the final 25 minutes or so. So you certainly can't say that Marcelo Bielsa's holding back, but that will leave space at the back, and we've already seen in this second half that Brentford are capable of exploiting the gaps that Leeds do leave. So it's going to make for a very open and interesting final 25 minutes or half an hour or so.
Sure is, but I think it's all very much in Brentford's favour. 2-goal cushion, ability to, they can go forward or go backwards as they want. Leeds are pretty much forced into one position, which is going forward as Brentford to make a break. Ball into the box, not dealt with. Shot comes in, breaks for Morpay. Can he get the ball out of his feet? Oh, just about. On the half volley then, he flicks it over the top of the crossbar. 3-0 would have been a killer, you feel, today. Maybe 2's enough already, but that was close to the third.
Yeah, a couple of players had opportunities. Canos with a shot block. Morpay just wouldn't sit down for him, and even then he's inventive with his acrobatic effort that just flies over the top of the crossbar. One more goal for Brentford would certainly wrap up the 3 points, and Morpay coming ever so close. Leeds they'll live on to fight another day and will look to come forward. Harrison, who's reverted back to the left-hand side. Clark going to the right. Takes the throw in quickly there, Jack Harrison. Ball played out to Dallas. Dallas, first time cross into the box, is a decent one. Flick clear though by Jeanvier. Helped further upfield by Watkins, and then a shot comes in. Speculative effort from Pablo Hernandez, a bit of a frustrated effort as well, which flies well over the top of the crossbar.
Dare I say it, but Leeds are looking like a busted flush at the minute. I just, like I said, I've not believed in him. What happened in the second half against Watford is happening again. Saw it against Queen's Park Rangers this season, Birmingham more recently. At times, they're flat to deceive. You know, they're getting on the ball a fair bit, but they're not passing well when they do that. They're offering gilt-edged chances to the opposition. You know, I always feel if the opposition hold 3 or 4 bodies up there, which Brentford have been able to do, certainly 3, you know, you give yourself a real opportunity. Because Leeds will throw 2 full-backs forward and all of a sudden they're outgunned. Leeds have got to throw caution to the wind now, and they have already in this game. But I feel that, you know, there could be more goals there for Brentford, actually.
Yeah, there's certainly potential on the counter-attack. Just looking back at that last Neil Morpay chance, there was 1 or 2 appeals from Brentford for a penalty in the build-up to that. Luke Ayling certainly didn't get anything on the ball when he slid in with Ollie Watkins. There wasn't much appeal from Watkins himself, but certainly the more you look back at that, you could easily see that being given as a penalty, although that might even itself out now because Leeds had a shout for a penalty in the first half when Patrick Bamford went down under a challenge from Julien Jeanvier, as Leeds now have a throw-in high up the pitch, which Ayling, unsurprisingly, in a hurry to take. Gets possession back from Click and goes to Forshaw. Forshaw into Hernandez, who tries to turn it round the corner, but it's not happening for Pablo Hernandez today. An aimless pass, he looks frustrated, and it goes out for a throw-in. Marcelo Bielsa is out of his technical area now, demanding more from his players, trying to rouse them for the final quarter of this contest. It's Brentford 2, Leeds 0 at the moment. Leeds' automatic promotion hopes are fading and fading fast. To see if they can get them back on track, or to see if Brentford can hold out in the time that remains, I'll hand you over to John.
So I think it looks very unlikely, but they'll keep on going. What they do throughout games, they will play for the full 90 minutes and extras. They don't stop like that or quit. But it's not about how much they want to or the will. It's about the quality and about the decisions, and the decisions have not been great. Canion's waiting for the ball from Oda Badger, but he puts, anyway, a ball that's fired across the face. Not bad at all from him. A lot of industry from him. There's the ball then by Clark. A tricky one that he lays back, and now they're on the front foot. Maybe an opportunity here. The ball laid forward. Will break for Clark just at the byline. Puts the cut back in. Shot comes in from Click. But in the end, it's very comfortable for Daniels. Again, it lacked conviction. I think that's a very difficult strike. When the ball coming across you from the right hand side, you're going to hit right-footed. Hard to put your boot through that. And in the end, it's comfortable, though.
Yeah, you can't really generate any power. And because he was on the angle as well, there was no real angle he could create for himself to beat Luke Daniels from there. The only way he was going to do that was through a goalkeeping error, but Jack Clark is providing good width down the right hand side, and it was a decent cutback for Click. It's just not quite happening for Leeds inside the penalty area.
Yeah, I keep going back to this, but what we saw at Christmas time was Leeds' fault. They played well and they were top dogs going up to Christmas, but games in quick succession just robbed them of that go forward, because I think he's asking an awful lot out of them physically and mentally in these games. He tends not to change his lineup. And, you know, the same guys have to go again and again and again. And, you know, we know at this level, the championship level, he's a tough one. But there's not too many bad teams in the division, you know. I think Brentford emphasised that. It's all Queen's Park Rangers, who I saw today, at times have been terrible this season, then great, you know. Lots of teams can give you a bloody nose. There is not much between them in the amount of money spent on squads. You know, there's certainly not the huge gaps that you get in the Premier League of money spent. So, yeah, you know, I think the Brentford team will have been assembled as inexpensively as the Leeds team, really. Probably Leeds a little bit more costly, but anyway, Click tries to break into the box. So you need to be fully fit, really. Ball for Bamford, but he can't control it in a tight area in the box. Had he been able to turn, then he might have been in. Sawyer's a great turn, great out ball. Canos now driving forward, got Morpay, got Watkins. Can he find either one of them? Well, he breaks into the box now. He's going to make it 3. Oh, and Casilla gets a foot in there. How did they not score? They've still got a chance in the box, but he should have just cut that back for Watkins when he had the chance. I thought he'd take the right decision when he ends up one-on-one with the keeper, and then he makes a mess of it. Unbelievable, but they should have been 3 and gone there, really.
They should have been. That would have been one of the best counter-attacking goals of the season had Canos rounded it off, because the skill and the pass from Romain Sawyers on the edge of his own area was brilliant. Canos then breaking forward, beats his man all too easily from a Leeds point of view, but still brilliant from Canos. As you say, he had options, but he went for the effort to go round the goalkeeper. Looked like he'd done that. But then he just dwelled. He didn't want to provide the finish. He wanted to score in the perfect way, and it allowed Casilla to just about get back. A wasted opportunity from Canos, and probably evidence there, as fantastic as he's been in flashes in this game, why he's still playing at championship level. Just that concentration and that consistency isn't always there from him.
Yeah, I think just a little bit complacent that, but anyway, it's still brilliant in its own way, you know. And the way he held off Cooper there was superb, but he knows he doesn't need to be told, does he, Canos? If Leeds get one back now, he'll be feeling sorry, but like I said, I think there are more goals for Brentford. What Leeds have struggled with all season is teams who have playing pace against them, and there we just saw that.
Brentford 2, Leeds 0. It remains. It's an open contest. You could easily see Leeds getting back into it, or Brentford getting a third goal. In truth, probably the Bees are looking the more likely of the two at the moment. Neil Morpay with an acrobatic effort. He sent just over the top of the crossbar, and Sergi Canos, after being set up brilliantly on the counter-attack by Romain Sawyers, looked like he was going to tap the ball into the empty net after beating a defender and going round goalkeeper Kiko Casilla, but he delayed too long. That allowed Casilla to get back and make the interception. At the other end, Jack Clark's come on for Leeds. He set up Matej Klich for an opportunity that he couldn't convert. It's Brentford 2, Leeds 0.
Yeah, Canos and Andy's having a coming together there. In fact, no, it's Morpay. Morpay gets a yellow card for messing about with Pablo there. He just threw the ball away because he thought the free kick should be 10 yards further back, and shoved Hernandez out of the way when he's trying to take it. But anyway, he got a yellow card for that. Hernandez now trying to break forward. It was a good looking ball into the box again. The cutback from Klich looks decent. Chance for a shot. Dallas there on the half turn at the edge of the area. Maybe Harrison was in a better position to take that on, and maybe should have given him a shout there, as Leeds trying to get back on the front foot and have the ball in midfield now with Pablo Hernandez again. Ayling now rushing forward, controls the ball, and he has got Clark out in that wing, and he tries to get past his man, but that's good defending by the Brentford number 3 Henry, who finds Morpay, who holds the ball up well, but then runs into Clark. Clark delivers a good ball. Pablo Hernandez ball to the edge of the area. Now Kemar Roof trying to wriggle in, and probably committed a foul inside the box there, just too desperate to get it. But it is desperate stuff from Leeds, and somehow they need to calm down a bit and show a bit of calmness and coolness when they're at the edge of the area.
Yeah, it's too frantic, isn't it, at times? Roof typifying that there. He doesn't need to haul his marker to the ground. The Leeds still have possession. He's wasted an opportunity. He's barely been involved, has he, Roof, since coming on? It's been a struggle. You can feel the anxiety coming off the Leeds United players, and they probably do just need to take a step back and go again, because if they continue to panic and are desperate, then they're never going to be able to create or convert the chances.
No, not every chance can be snatched. We understand how fraught it can be for them, but they've got some defending to do now. It's a corner kick, and don't forget they've taken the tallest player off Pontus Jansson, which seemed a strange decision, quite frankly. But anyway, corner for Brentford. Ball comes in, good clean take by Casilla, and then he bowls the ball out down the flank, and shows great pace. Eventually he's brought down. Conser should get a yellow card for that, and he does, holding back by the shoulders. And he gives the referee a thumbs up for giving him a yellow card.
You know, you definitely committed a yellow card offence when you're doing that. That's a new one for the referee. Probably won't get too many thumbs up like that when he's distributing cards this season. But he knew what he was doing, similar to Morpay before. A clear yellow card. Brentford just trying to disrupt the flow.
Clark then trying to wriggle his way around Sorensen, but he was hoping that he was going to get wiped out there to win a free kick. It just didn't happen. And the ball rolls out, will be a goal kick. Brentford 2, Leeds United 0. And the Bees, I think, have played well and have exploited the weaknesses of Leeds, really well. I think that Leeds look tired, and of course we'll get Bielsa telling us that they're not, but they are. After their dismal defeat at the hands of Queen's Park Rangers, who'd gone on a losing streak, he said, look, we're fit as anything, and they came out next time and won their home game. And they're always difficult away from home, but Brentford here have just been more than a measure for them. They've deserved the goals that they've got. I think, despite the fact that Leeds have had more territory and probably created more chances, I think 2-0 is a deserved scoreline.
Yeah, and very similar to the Wigan game on Friday, where although Leeds statistically will look like the dominant side, you can't really argue against the scoreline too much. Brentford have created numerous opportunities other than the 2 goals they've scored. We did wonder about their tactics at the start of the game, but it's been quite clever from Thomas Frank in a lot of ways, playing the 3 up front, keeping them up there as much as possible, and getting everyone else behind the ball means they have the ability to snuff out the Leeds attacks, but they have an immediate outball, an immediate threat on the counter-attack, and 3 very pacey and clever forwards up there. It means they're always going to be a threat.
Yeah, it's right. We talked about Wigan being, a poor match for Leeds at Brentford equally, but I think the thing is, a tired team will keep finding that, this team's a bad match for them. If you can't, if you don't feel fresh and fit, these players are going to get the better of you. You're going to be losing games. We see that all the time, don't we? The teams that play in European football, who don't necessarily have big squads, that can be the undoing of teams. Anyway, Ayling just dabs the ball forward, but it's a poor effort from him. Brentford almost guilty of giving the ball away, but remains Sawyers now with the long ball forward. Morpay brings in a control, brilliant. And here they go again with Kanyos, this time ball out left hand side for Watkins, driving inside, his right foot goes down. I think the referee has shown a yellow card for simulation from Watkins, has he?
Yeah, I think he has, and it'll be interesting to see that one again. There was a dangling leg there. Whether Watkins has tried to manufacture the contact or he's just pretended he's gone over it. There's certainly a stretch from Forshaw. I'll have to see that again from a second angle. I'm not sure if he clips the foot or not. The referee's well placed. There's not really that many protestations from Watkins, so perhaps he knows that he went down. It was touch and go when you first look at it, but I'll accept that the referee got that one right.
It's a weird one, that, really, because Ollie Watkins is in the box and he's going to cut to try and draw foul, right? And we see that all the time, don't we? And Forshaw's as close as he can be to providing the leg to fall over. He cuts that hard, he's always going to be going down. It's a less obvious dive and more. We see players drawing a foul all the time, and he's an ace away from getting it. I think in a way it's an unfortunate yellow card, but I know what the referee is doing there, Yeah,
I mean, if there's contact, it's minimal as well. You'd almost have to slow that down and almost stop it and freeze frame it to see if there's contact on the toe of Ollie Watkins. If there is, it's a penalty and he's legitimately gone down. As you say, he's cutting inside at pace as well. Momentum could take him over to a degree.
But I think the thing is there, though, that any sort of contact does not a penalty make.
No, it doesn't necessarily have to be a penalty with the contact, but then if there is contact, there's no way you could book a Watkins for diving necessarily. But I can see, certainly at first glance, I thought he's gone over easily, so you can't really blame the referee in that situation.
No, it might be a bit of a knee-jerk response from the ref, who's thinking, you just made me make a decision. You know what I mean? That could have been a penalty or not, and that's putting me under pressure when I don't want to be. So it's what you get for doing that to me. Either Kanish is playing the old soldier, or he's run his race and he's injured and he's going off. But I think he looks like he is going, shaking his head. He's been brilliant today, absolutely brilliant. And the only thing he didn't do was kill the game off with that third goal. Emiliano now will come on for the Bees, who have been brilliant this season, then poor, then great again, and very hard to work out, but it's a funny old division. So they're 2 goals up today. Will have bloodied the nose of Leeds and probably denied them an automatic playoff or automatic promotion slot, should I say. Leeds look consigned to the playoffs. But here comes Ayling, trying to make that statement untrue. Clark now at the edge of the area. But again, he's just falls away. Well, he fights back hard enough, though, and he's able to play the ball off Makotjo to win a throw. I think Henry's done a really good job on that left-hand side. I've been impressed with him.
Yeah, particularly in the second half, he's really got to grips with whoever he's been up against, whether it be Harrison or Clark. Leeds are looking to do a lot of attacking down the right-hand side, but so far he stood pretty strong.
They've got a corner kick now. The ball's come off Sorensen. Like I said, Leeds need something, don't they? They need the ball to hit the back of the net somehow. Pablo Hernandez will deliver the outswinger. Last time he did, the ball went straight out. But he's got a slightly better angle now. One hand in the air. Can they get anybody on it? No, Janssen in there. Ball comes in, ball bobbling around, handball claimed, but it will just be another corner for Leeds.
Yeah, it looked like it just clipped off the head of a Brentford defender. Leeds have clearly had a tactic, whether it was Harrison taking the corners or Hernandez, that they're going to loop them high towards the far post, but not one of them has really caused too many problems in there. Cooper got his head to that one, but they haven't really troubled the goalkeeper from any set piece.
No, they won't again. There as that's headed away by Consat. And then, ball given away again. And Sawyers has done really well with his out ball today. And he does again. Finds a good ball forward to Makotjo, and who rolls it slightly behind the man out on that right-hand side. And eventually the ball will go out. So, Leeds have got a lot of work to do. Brentford sat pretty on a 2-goal lead. It doesn't look obvious with only 8 minutes of regulation play left that Leeds get back in this game.
No, the second goal is not the stuffing out of Leeds to a large degree, and there's not the grandstand finish we saw against Wigan on Friday, where they were pushing forward and knock on the door. The fact there's a 2-goal cushion, they're still hoping, but I'm not sure if they're believing they can necessarily get back into the game, and they haven't. Again, Luke Daniels has had very little to do in this second half.
Yeah, they look a tired team, don't they, in a way, Leeds, although, they've kept on going, and here comes Ayling again. They're not exactly hammering the door down, as it more politely knocking. As a good challenge there from Cooper, committed from a long way out, had to win that ball, didn't he? And they're taking real chances and risks at the back now. The ball out again for Clark's not a good one. Pablo Hernandez, he's having a shocking game today. Such a good player. But, a lot of it's Bielsa's fault. He's screaming at his team. We keep picking virtually the same 11 again and again and again. Hardly a change. The change Forshaw for Phillips, doesn't add up to a hill of beans, really. He had a chance to take Pablo off and decided to take Pontus Jansson off, which for me didn't make a great deal of sense.
Yeah, in an attacking sense as well, there's a lack of options for Leeds, certainly in that central striking department. You think of Sheffield United, who've lost Billy Sharp. They still have Gary Maydeen, David McGoldrick, who got a couple today, Scott Hogan, Connor Washington. There's 4 or 5 experienced strikers. Yes, they're not world beaters necessarily, but they're competent at championship level and can do a job when called upon. Leeds don't have that many options and are relying on youth, which is good to a degree, but they don't have that quality or that know-how to go to on their bench, and there's also an unwillingness, as we mentioned, to necessarily freshen things up.
Yeah, I think they could they could do with a whole different 11. They've got one team, that's it. Probably in its entirety about 14-15 players that he trusts, and he could do with 30. It's as simple as that, really. A numbers game. Now they look a bit tired, but like we said, around Christmas time, it all crept up on them as well. Games in quick succession, like you get at Easter time. Not exactly what you want when you can't ring the changes. And the other idea as well is that you rob Peter to pay Paul and just say, right, this is a game that we're not targeting. This is the game that we are. The game at home against Wigan should have been the one where, his basket was full. Less so this Brentford game. And then at home to Villa, you think, yeah, we've got to go. And of course, the last game of the season, Ipswich, you're at full tilt. But not a rest or a break for these Leeds players. There's Kemar Roof. Again, he's too anxious, and he upends his man competing for the ball.
Yeah, he's just overstretched there. Might even get studs on the ball, but he's a little bit reckless in the way he goes in on Makocha, who's happy to draw the foul. Brentford making another change. Ollie Watkins worked really hard up there. Can feel a little bit aggrieved. He picked up that yellow card for simulation, but he's coming off, and the more defensive-minded Jay De Silva coming on.
Yep, somebody there's all cramped up for Brentford. And strange move that when you've got somebody who's lying down on the deck getting sorted out, but there we go.
Into the closing exchanges at Griffin Park. Brentford leading by 2-0 against Leeds, and it looks like they're going to hold out for all 3 points. They've defended really stoutly, the Bees, in this second half, and continue to look a threat on the counter-attack. They could have had a penalty, arguably, as well. Ollie Watkins going down in the box under a challenge from Adam Forshaw. Minimal contact, and the referee actually booked Watkins for diving, which may have been a little harsh. Leeds look like they've run out of ideas, can't seem to muster a decent effort towards Luke Daniels' goals. Seems like it's going to be back-to-back defeats over the Easter period for them. Brentford 2, Leeds 0.
Yep. Well, it is what it is, that. I think they've just got to obviously carry on to the end of the season. I think if I were Bielsa, they've gone gung-ho for it all season. I think you've got to give up with that hope for the automatic slot, and then just say, right, damage limitation. What's my best team for the playoffs? How am I going to get those boys a rest? How am I going to manage my way through that? Again, with games that are in fairly quick succession, and keep them lads fresh. I think that's what they've got to do now, because it looks like automatic promotion is beyond them. The results didn't go their way today. Like you say, Norwich will need just one more point. That's them gone. And I think the fact that the Blades have got a superior goal difference to Leeds as well, by 8 goals now, that is. Is another reason why Leeds are not going to be going up via that route. But anyway, I don't suppose they can give up until all's said and done. If they can somehow come back strong and beat Aston Villa, then you look at that last game of the season at Ipswich and say, right, well, maybe a slip up from the Blades, and you never know. But I thought Hull was the day today for a potential big banana skin, and the Tigers never turned up. Free kick for Leeds United down the left-hand side. Opportunity then. Nothing's working for them today. Can they even get a consolation out of this? The ball hit to the far post. Way too deep. And that's gone out without anybody landing a blow on that.
Yeah, it's quite clever from Romain Sawyers, actually. I think it is. I know it's Odebajo, actually, at the far post. He just lets that run. He knows it's probably going to bounce out. Jack Clark behind him won't be expecting it. And how many set pieces have Leeds had today, whether it's been a free kick or a corner, that have been overhit? Yeah,
at the start of the season, Douglas was taking all those, the fullback that they'd got from Fulham, and I thought he looked pretty good. Then he picked up an injury, and now he's, not in the squad. I'm assuming he's still out injured, but flirted with a comeback, and he couldn't quite make it stick. Was on the bench a few times. Yeah, it's just that lack of strength and depth of players that maybe Bielsa feels he can trust, at times as well. One or two players have had dips in form, which I suppose will happen over a long season. Clever footwork there by Conser, buys him a bit of time, and then his outball is good. Brentford trying to make some ground. Leeds have kept on plugging away, haven't they, throughout this second half without really making any of it stick. But they come again down the left-hand side and have won yet another corner.
Yeah, into 90 minutes now. It'll be interesting to see what the official adds on. 5 minutes, so if they could nick a goal now, Leeds, there's still some hope there, but they really have to get one from this set piece to give themselves hope of a grandstand finish.
Yep, that's right. So I suppose you wouldn't turn down a point now for Leeds, but like I said, a point only helps them out in a subtle way, really. They end up level on points with the Blades at the end of the season, then their goal difference will be superior unless Leeds can somehow thump both Villa and Ipswich, I think. But too short, a turnaround, 2 games to turn around, 8 goals on goal difference. Leeds into the box now, spinning a turn there from Harrison. Can't wriggle away from his marker though. But the ball breaks back on the inside for Bamford. His shot blocked, yet another corner.
Yeah, probing Leeds, but again, just can't get a clear sight towards goal. They haven't had many of those over the last couple of games. Brentford standing firm defensively, wanted to keep their clean sheet intact.
Leeds put the ball into the box again. Out comes Daniels, double-fisted punch back to Leeds, who were desperate to get that ball back in. Go all the way back to Forshaw, who's last man. Ball keeps coming forward again. I think Cooper's probably still in there in the box waiting for the ball, but he won't get it. Conser heads away. Now a chance for the order of the big boot, and Siege gun welly away, and then a poor defensive header, and Morpay given a chance here. He's got the overlap right hand side. He goes for the shot greedily there. Silly thing to do that. I mean, he had an easy out ball there.
Yeah, and Neil Morpay's had a really good game. He scored a good goal, but that's probably a mark if you're watching him as a potential buyer. So many teams they are interested in him, and they're going to make their move, you would suspect, in the summer. But the fact that he's gone for goal there, being greedy, hasn't looked to hold on to possession or bring a teammate into play, that would you put a question mark against him potentially playing at a higher level.
Click gets round the back, but the flag had gone up, and Bielsa, I think, I'm getting a bit frustrated there, shaking his hands. Maybe they're going to make one more change, don't know. Leeds fans making a bit of noise, but I think there'll be there's a look of resignation on some of those faces in there. 1 or 2 fed up, but I think for most of them, when they look back at the season, however it ends, they'll say it's been exciting and unexpected. This middle ranking team were doing nothing, pulling up no trees. Everybody said at the end of last season, well, we've given a load of no marks, big contracts, so it's going to be the same again next season, and there'll be mid-table fodder who might end up in a relegation fight. That's pretty much what the Leeds fans thought. Anyway, 2 minutes left of this game, and they come forward again. Ayling, ball into the middle. Hernandez for Cooper. Cooper, decent ball for Kemar Roof. Roof for spinning a turn, and then he just stabs it out left hand side. Ball flicked back for Roof, who lays it back to Cooper inside his own half. Now Forshaw in the centre circle. They're going nowhere fast now, Leeds.
Yeah, I mean, the game has probably gone realistically, but there's a lack of urgency there about their play around the halfway line. This is the time where you need to look the ball forward and play the percentages. It hasn't really come from Leeds yet.
Cross into the box, not being cleared away, eventually hits the head of Bamford. Ball laid back by Ayling. Clark just dabs one up in the air. Out comes the keeper. A really comfortable take for Daniels. He really didn't need to fall to the ground on top of it, but he did anyway. 1 minute left of the game, and frustrating as it is, looks like Leeds, we'll have to think long and hard about the play. So they've got 2 games left, like I said, not quite done with yet, and there may be a twist and turn yet in the promotion race. And for the minute, though, it looks like Norwich and the Blades in the box seats. He's just in behind him. I just think today that if the Baggies had gained a victory, they might just have crept up on the outside if results had gone their way. Hull beat Sheffield United, and obviously what's happening today, but they could do no more than draw, I think, this afternoon. Anyway, Brentford playing out from the back now. They'll be pretty pleased with their display. I think they've been clinical. They've held their shape, defended stoutly, and taking Leeds apart on the counter-attack.
Yeah, it's been a tactical A masterclass in a lot of ways from Thomas Frank. He set his team up well. He kept those 3 players high up the pitch, was bold, and it's ultimately paid off as the referee blows the final whistle. Back-to-back defeats for Leeds dents their automatic promotion hopes. For Brentford, an impressive home victory. They've beaten Leeds by 2-0.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match?